They're freaking out at Kamala headquarters right now. They're totally freaking out because things aren't looking so good. The optics, shall we say, I risk being told I'm misinformation here. The optics do not look good. I mean, when Mayorkas from FEMA comes out and says we're out of money, and you're Kamala Harris saying I got $750 for each family, and that's theoretically it, that's not a good look. Okay, you can spin that however you want. You can tell me I'm fake news all day long. It's not a good look. And here's how you know it's not a good look. Let me show you. This is Polymarket's prediction market. So prediction markets are usually right. In fact, prediction markets have always been right except for 2 times, going all the way back to 1866. In other words, people are putting their money where their mouth is. You're putting your money where your mouth is. This is Polymarket. It's actually a really cool market because it's built on blockchain technology, and I'm going to geek out for you just for a moment. It's like Ethereum, blockchain, and it's really neat. So these trades settle. By the way, they use stable coins so that you don't get the effects of the Ethereum up and down. But what it's telling you is that people who are putting money to work in the prediction markets believe that Donald Trump has a nearly 56% chance of winning. I mean, this is incredible. Do you see that chart? I mean, maybe I can make it a little bit bigger for you. I just find this amazing. So again, remember that number, 55.8. So nearly 56% chance of winning. And if you look at these lines, like Kamala is going down, you see the blue, and then you look at Donald Trump and he's climbing and climbing and climbing. Now, do you see that crossover? That was right around the time that the debate happened. Remember in September, so if you look at September on that chart and you look at that blue, you see that she got a little bit of a bump coming out of that debate, and he went down a bit, but now he's just taken off. So I find this fascinating because, we can sit here and we can talk polls all day long, and we can and we will, and I've got some I want to show you, but ultimately, people don't always tell the pollsters the truth, but they tend to take their biases out and their hesitations out when they're putting money to work, which is why Polymarket is something to look at. By the way, they're open like 24/7, which is not a good thing for insomniacs. You can check it all the time, all over the world. You can't actually make a prediction. You can't make a wager as an American here in the US or any country that doesn't allow for this. But nonetheless, it's still super interesting to see. And I like showing you, especially looking at now, he's like nearly 56% to nearly 44%. I mean, that is a gigantic spread. So now if we go over and we look at the polls, what you're seeing is kind of a similar story, just not as magnified. I'll give you Reuters, for example. So Reuters, and this cracks me up because the headline out of Reuters was basically, oh, it's wonderful for Kamala. It's wonderful for Kamala. She's getting the middle class now. She's getting all those suburban moms. I think she had them anyway. Take a peek. Exclusive. Harris overtakes Trump among suburban voters. Reuters Ipsos polling shows. So this is the Reuters article that came up first thing today. They're so, oh my gosh, this is so great. She's taken over for suburban voters. But I looked at this because, I look at all the headlines all day long, and I'm looking for polls, and I'm looking at how all of the media is presenting this. And I'm like, come on, Reuters. Because if you read the poll, it's actually not that good for Kamala Harris. It's not that good at all, especially when you compare and contrast with previous polls. Now, maybe there's some jealousy and sharp elbows in the pollster world. I know when I worked at Fox, there always was. They were like, never show another poll, never show. And they would tell us all the reasons why the other poll was wrong and their poll was right. So there's a little bit of that going on. And I think that USA Today decided to call them out on it. So take a look at their headline. Their headline on the same exact poll, but they're actually looking at the important number, which is that it's 46 to 43. Okay, so 3-point spread difference completely within the margin of error. This is the Reuters poll. So Reuters, celebrating, she's doing great with suburban moms, etc. They're pointing out that this is a 3-point spread. And not only that, she used to have a way bigger lead. So he's increasing. He's the momentum stock. All right, let's put it into terms that Trish Regan can understand, right? My financial background. He's the momentum play. Kamala is the sinking ship, or that staid establishment company that nobody wants to be part of anymore, right? But Fox News, great example. Not to pick on them. We'll go after Disney, all right? Disney. there's no future there. So that's kind of like Kamala right now. There's no future there. Donald Trump was down by 6. Okay? And now he's down by 3. So he is narrowing that spread. And that's a big, big deal. It's a really big deal. And so they're freaking out. They're freaking out over at Kamala headquarters. Oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? I'm telling you, look at this poly market thing. You guys should be freaking out. Reality is you get yourself a candidate that nobody likes, nobody trusts, nobody thinks can actually do the job. And by the way, has been there for 3.5 years and hasn't done a very good job. To be super clear, she's done a lousy job. We know what inflation is. We know what the border is. We know what the international situation is. And Kamala Harris now has a chance to step up to the plate and act like she's really doing something at the hurricane. When the hurricane, the first one was coming in, Helene, she's out trying to raise money in Los Angeles with her Hollywood friends. Biden's on the beach. And Donald Trump's calling Elon Musk saying, how can we get Starlink in there? You understand, again, optics. Optics. Who's on first there at the White House? And then, she has to deal with this burden of having been tethered, shall we say, to Joe Biden for the last 3.5 years. And she's perfectly fine with it. Here she is on The View.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
But there's nothing I'd change. Nothing I'd change. I mean, you don't think you'd want to maybe go back and look at that Inflation Reduction Act maybe one more time? Because by spending trillions of dollars, you actually drove inflation higher. Yeah, so she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it, and she's not able to really kind of go with the news flow. Does she even know what the news flow is? I don't know. I mean, she's out there going after DeSantis just the other day. I mean, even Biden had to correct her on this one. Did you see this? She gets off the plane, she's talking to the reporters, and she starts attacking Ron DeSantis, saying that, she's in agreement with the NBC News headline that says somehow he won't give her the time of day or anyone in the White House the time of day. Watch.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
Moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
Okay, so that didn't age so well, because less than 24 hours later, Biden said, actually, no, I spoke with DeSantis.
The governor of Florida has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday, and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. And I literally gave my personal phone number to call. So I don't know. There was a rough start in some places, but every governor from Florida to North Carolina has been fully cooperative and supportive and acknowledged what this team is doing. And they're doing an incredible job.
Ouch, Kamala. He just totally struck you down, girl. All right, so there's a little bit of bad blood there, understandably, because, she came in out of nowhere and took the seat from under him after he'd already been elected by the Democrat Party to be on top of the ticket. So yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. On top of it, even these CNN folks were saying just the other day, as Milton was rolling into town, by the way, just horrible, horrible situation there. I want you guys to know David, one of our producers on the team, he doesn't have any connectivity right now. It's very tough because cell phones are down, etc. But he's safe and his house is safe. Thank goodness. He's in St. Pete, so I was very, very worried about him. But a lot of people are not faring as well.